Hello and welcome to this recipe video where today I will be walking you through the steps of making stuffed chicken breasts, a pea puree, and mashed potatoes. We'll be going through each component by itself, so if you're only interested in one of them, then you can find it in the chapters. Before starting up your peas, cut up one onion and a couple of cloves of garlic. This can be very rough since we're going to be blending it at the end anyways. Now, one onion is comparative to 600 grams of peas. And for the garlic, I think it's up to taste, depending on how much you like garlic. Put the peas, onions, and garlic in a pot and fill it up with chicken stock. If you don't want to use chicken stock, then you can go ahead and use something else here as well. I made an experiment with some liquid smoke. I wouldn't recommend it myself, but maybe a beef stock could work well instead. Bring that up to a boil and let it go for about 10 minutes. Once the time has passed, strain the liquid, but make sure to save it. Once everything is ready, you can go ahead and put the vegetables in a blender. Add a bit of liquid and just let it go. You might have a difficult time getting it started, but once you get going, just let it go for a couple of seconds until you get it close to a consistency that you're looking for. I added a cold knob of butter as well towards the end of it. You can do this or you might want to skip it. It's really up to you. Then you just make sure to season it and you're done. For the mashed potatoes, you're going to want to peel your potatoes first. Make sure to drop your finished potatoes in water to make sure they don't get oxidized. And then you just got to boil your potatoes until you can easily pierce it with a knife. Once that's done, you can use a potato masher or a fork or whatever you have access to just mash them up. Here you want to add some butter as well as milk. If you want some different flavoring on your potatoes, you can boil some herbs inside of your milk before adding it to the potatoes. I use thyme and garlic because I really enjoy it, but you can use any combinations that you want. I wouldn't say that there is a proper consistency for mashed potatoes. It's really up to what you prefer. I went for the consistency where it started to fall off my whisk, and once I achieved my consistency and wasn't gonna add any more milk, I started seasoning with salt and pepper. If you're gonna do the mozzarella and bacon stuffing for the chicken, you wanna make sure to fry up your bacon beforehand. And once you have all of your ingredients in place, you can start working on the chicken. We're going to be butterflying them to make sure that we have a place for our stuffing. Essentially, you're just putting a cut halfway through the chicken breast and not going all the way through. And when you see that your chicken breast opens up, you know you've got it in the correct spot. Then you're just going to want to add your stuffing inside of the chicken and close it up. So make sure not to add too much, as it would be pretty easy for it to overflow. As you can see, I'm struggling to get mine all the way closed up because I went a bit overzealous with my bacon. And I also made a variant with spinach and ricotta. You can pretty much put anything you want in here, but if you're going to use a hard vegetable or meats, make sure to get it to the proper consistency before putting it inside the chicken. Now, for the breading, a lot of people use flour, eggs, and breadcrumbs. I only use eggs and breadcrumbs in this case. I'm not a breading expert, so I can't tell you that the flour won't make a difference, but this breading turned out good. So if you don't want to use any flour here, go ahead and just do it with eggs and breadcrumbs. Season your breadcrumbs with whatever you want. I use salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, and basil. Get them mixed up, and then we're gonna go eggs, then breadcrumbs, then back to eggs, and back to breadcrumbs. And once you have all of them coated, we can start heading over to the stove. Put your stove at medium-high heat, and make sure that your oil is hot before dropping your chicken in. Make sure to always lay the chicken away from you, because you can see the splashes here. If I laid that towards me, I'd be in a lot of pain. Once you've dropped your chicken in, you won't really have to do anything, as you don't want to mess around with it too much. Just let it sit there, accumulate heat, and get nice and crusty on the outside. And once you start seeing that you're getting a dark color underneath, you can flip it. Make sure to leave your chicken alone for about the same time on the other side. And once you're done with all of the pieces, put them in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes. From here on, the meal is done, and it's all about plating. It's really up to you how you want to handle this. I tried to do some fancy stuff, but didn't really change the taste, so yeah, you do you. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you found the recipe helpful. If you want to see how this meal compares to Persona 5 Strikers, you can click the video that's on screen right now. Have a great day.